Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Cumberland School Committee meeting tonight, Thursday, May 14th, 2026, at Cumberland High School Transitional Building at 7:11 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Approval of agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Feather,
Second.
second by Ms. Shea. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes 7-0. Consent agenda. Approval of minutes, regular minutes 4/29/2026, executive session 4/29/2026, enrollment report 5/7/2026, residency truancy report 5/7/2026, April transportation report, school bus inspection reports 4/24/2026. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Shea,
Second with discussion?
second by Ms. Smith with discussion. Ms. Smith?
Dr. Thornton, I'm not sure if you can answer this or not. The April transportation report, we noticed that we're having continuous issues with buses doubling up. We had 6 in April. We've had quite a few already happening in May. And tying into the school inspection, the school bus inspection report, because those don't have bus numbers or on them to match our numbers, not quite sure what the reason is that we have continuous issues. And I believe that Cumberland Hill and community have been most affected by this. We're getting emails, parents getting emails almost every day saying bus so-and-so's coming back for another bus. Is there something happening?
Nothing comes to mind, but I can check and have it back to you first thing.
Yeah, that would be great. It would be nice, I think, if the parents knew that we're addressing it as well. Thank you.
I have a motion by Ms. Shea, a second by Ms. Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes 7-0. Reporto of executive session meeting. Reporto of executive session meeting on 5/14/2026. Reporto of executive session votes. There were no votes taken. Vote to seal minutes of executive session. Can I have a motion?
Motion to seal.
Motion by Ms. Feather, second by Ms. Smith. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 7-0. Personnel announcements?
Hi, good evening. I have 5 announcements this evening. We have an appointment effective May 4th for Andrew Brown, night custodian at Cumberland High School. We have an appointment effective May 11th for Kelsey Carr, paraprofessional in the Success Program at BF Norton. And I am very thrilled to introduce the next 3 people to you. We're going to start with the new admin team from McCourt Middle School. Christine Holman as the new principal at McCourt, effective July 1st. And Miss Nellie Normand, the new assistant principal at McCourt, effective July 1st. Also, my pleasure to introduce Michelle Carter, the new assistant superintendent of the Cumberland Public School Department, effective July 1st, 2026.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we continue, if there are any comments from the public regarding personnel announcements, now is the time to come up.
Sure thing. Okay. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the staff at Garvin Memorial School, we want to take a moment tonight to celebrate Michelle Carter, not only as our principal, but as an incredible leader, mentor, and person. Many people know Mrs. Carter for her accomplishments in leadership, but those of us who have worked alongside of her every day know the heart behind it all. Since coming to Garvin in 2018, she created a school culture where people feel valued, supported, and inspired. She has a way of bringing people together, reminding us why this work matters, even making the toughest days feel manageable.
Leading a school is not easy, especially during times of change and uncertainty, but Mrs. Carter handled every challenge with kindness, strength, and grace. Whether it was navigating COVID, supporting staff through difficult moments, guiding our school through the building transition, or simply checking in after a hard day, She always led with empathy and kept students at the center of every decision.
She genuinely cares about people. She celebrates students, supports staff, connects with families, and somehow still finds time to bring joy into our building. Whether that's through school traditions, morning announcements, classroom visits, or even dancing to the Macarena for our months of the year. Those moments may seem small, but they are the moments that build the sense of community we all treasure at Garvin.
Her impact on our school will last far beyond her time here. The traditions she has created, the values she's modeled, and the relationships she's built have shaped Garvin into the special place it is today. Tonight is bittersweet for all of us. While we are incredibly sad to see her leave Garvin, we are also so proud of her and excited for this next chapter. This promotion is so well deserved, and we know she will continue to do amazing things.
Mrs. Carter, thank you for your leadership, your compassion, your energy, and your unwavering dedication to our students, staff, and families. You have made a lasting impact on all of us, and while you'll be deeply missed, your presence will always be felt at Garvin. Congratulations. We are so grateful for you.
Also, we would like to recognize Assistant Principal Nellie Normand as she begins a new chapter at McCourt. Nellie has been a dedicated leader, supportive colleague, and caring presence for our students, staff, and families. Her calm approach, kindness, and commitment to doing what is best for kids has made a lasting impact on our school community. While we will miss her greatly, we are excited for this next opportunity and know she will continue to make a difference wherever she goes. We want to thank her for all she has done for us at Garvin and wish her the very best at McCourt.
I did forget to mention to just make sure you put your name down. I do apologize for that. Superintendent's report, Dr. Thornton.
Good evening, Madam Chair. If I could have you join me, Madam Chair, for this first item. That would be great. So each year we have the pleasure of picking a Teacher of the Year in Cumberland, and it is that time again. But before we announce this year's winner, I do want to just mention the award winners at some of our buildings. Madam Chair, hold that. So this year at Ashton, the Teacher of the Year was Reading Specialist Carrie Beth Houle. B.F. Norton Kindergarten, Cassidy Carr. Community Special Educator, Elizabeth Dubois. Cumberland Hill Grade 4 teacher, Ashley Lemieux. Garvin Grade 2, Cara LaValle. McCourt ELA, Karen Yacino. NCMS, Renee Torres. But now, I'm going to call up Miss Rachel to announce this year's Teacher of the Year. Miss Rachel.
Good evening, everyone. I am incredibly proud to announce this year's District Teacher of the Year to Miss Amy Godek. Amy is an exceptional preschool educator. Come on up, Miss Amy. Miss Amy is an exceptional preschool educator whose compassion, patience, and dedication positively impact some of the most complex learners in our district. She creates a classroom where every child and family feels valued, supported, and capable from the very beginning of their educational journey. As one of her colleagues shared, while some people might see a room of students with intensive needs, Amy sees a room full of artists, scientists, and explorers. That statement perfectly captures who Amy is as an educator. She focuses on her students' strengths, celebrates their successes, and helps every child learn, communicate, and thrive. Please help me in honoring Miss Amy as District Teacher of the Year.
Madam Chair.
I would like to present this to you from the Cumberland School Department for 2026 District Teacher of the Year in recognition of your inspirational actions and excellent in education leadership. Truly, thank you very much.
And now also, Amy will be on our perpetual wall forever. So pictures up here. That's yours. Yeah.
I'm a little nervous. I usually am in front of 3- and 4-year-olds. So members of the school committee, administration, principals, colleagues, families, and community members. What an honor it is to be chosen District Teacher of the Year. It came as a complete surprise, as you can see me in my pajamas. And I am truly grateful for the recognition for my work here in Cumberland. I came to Cumberland after spending much of my career moving through many different professional positions in early childhood education. I worked in private daycare as a classroom teacher and as an administrator in public elementary school. I was a substitute teacher here in Cumberland many, many years ago, and I spent some time in early intervention. I can say with certainty, this is my dream job. And I love being here in Cumberland, my hometown, with my amazing Smile students. It's a blessing to wake up every day and be excited to go to work. And I'm humbled to be recognized for doing the job that brings me so much joy. First, let me tell you a little bit about my students. I have heard people say they are challenging. Well, let me tell you, they're amazing. My students inspire me with their determination, motivation, and resilience. They are the most energetic, hardworking, and loving children in the district. It's a long day for these precious little people. They have to manage separation from their parents, their safe place, navigate the busy school environment that is often loud, transition between home, school, the classroom, the playground, structured activities, free play and self-care routines, engage in social interactions with peers and adults, all while being challenged to learn new skills and make progress. How exhausting that must be for them. So really the challenge is mine, to find ways to make them feel safe and connected so they can learn and grow. They are what motivates me. Being a successful preschool teacher includes understanding that if the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but not the goal, which is always to help them be their best. We often hear the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it also takes a village to make Teacher of the Year. I am supported, encouraged, sustained, and inspired by so many members of my village. Starting at home with my family, my parents instilled from a young age the value of hard work and service to others, especially my mom, who was always there with unwavering support. My husband and best friend, who is the polar opposite and challenges me to find balance and humor when I am stressed and on a deadline. He listens to many preschool songs, cuts fence posts for holiday gifts, and moves around all my piles of school stuff. Thank you for choosing me and our family. And my son, who is my miracle, my favorite person in the whole world, and my whole heart. He has to sacrifice not only sharing his mom's time and attention, but also his toys with my students. I love you. My preschool family, the teachers at Cumberland Preschool are amazing, and each one has unique gifts they give to our students. I am encouraged daily by their hard work and dedication to making each day full of fun learning experiences. We share ideas, strategies, and can depend on each other to be there when we need support. Our support staff, Mr. Dillon, Miss Cindy, Miss Bree, Miss Melanie, and Miss Kim, share their knowledge and work right alongside us in the classroom so we can carry over their lessons seamlessly throughout the week. Miss Cassandra, my right-hand person, always there reassuring me that we got this and helping me find my words when I am overwhelmed. She respects my unique way of processing and encourages me to consider new ways to do things, including promoting AAC so my students can find their voices. Miss Maddie, who graduated from me, my best para, and is now teaching at Garvin in the ICANN program. Miss Maria and Miss Deborah, my wonderful current paras, who are willing to try anything, change the plan at a moment's notice, and work tirelessly to make the classroom a safe and supportive place to learn. They are always there to listen and solve problems with me. I've always been supported in Cumberland. Mrs. Carbonic and Mrs. Norman, who were there to give me a foundation to guide me in learning what I needed to grow as a professional. Mrs. Carter, who welcomed me into Garvin family when my class moved temporarily away from our preschool home. Mrs. Carter leads with a quiet, supportive hand, giving her teachers the freedom to grow in their own way and encouraging everyone in her Garvin family to be their personal best. Miss Rachel, Mrs. Powell, there she is. My mentor and friend, I still miss those afternoons in the trans waiting for the bus debriefing from the day. I've learned so much from you. You walked in my shoes and did it with style. You are uniquely qualified to understand what it makes to work in a specialized classroom. I know I can trust you to be honest, whether it's something I want to hear or not. You lead by example, and your boundless energy inspires me. You stop and listen to all of my big ideas and thoughts, even when you are really busy working in your office. You encourage me to take risks, grow in my professional role, trust myself, and find the calm on the most challenging days. I do not know what I would do without you. You listen without judgment and have been such a strong advocate for our preschool family. Dr. Thornton and the other Cumberland administrators, when I came to preschool, I heard a lot that the preschool felt that they were not seen. You have purposefully and thoughtfully made sure that the Cumberland preschool is not only seen, but celebrated. We have a beautiful new space for our students and families and the resources we need to grow. Finally, to my incredible families, parents entrust me with their most precious gift, their children, who are predominantly nonverbal and are not able to go home and tell their parents what happened at school. How scary that must be for a parent, and how important it is for me to build trusting relationships so parents know their child is safe, is understood, and is challenged. In my interview many years ago, I said if I were given the opportunity to work in Cumberland, I would cherish my students and celebrate each of them for their unique gifts. I strive to meet that challenge every day. I am grateful every day for the opportunity to be a small part of each of my students' journeys. That is my village. It takes all of you, my entire village, to make me the teacher I am. Thank you for recognizing me as District Teacher of the Year. I hope I will have many more years in Cumberland to continue serving my students and the Cumberland community. I wish you well. Thank you.
And next up, we have a treat. We have Amanda Santo and the Clef Singers here. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Ms. Santo.
Thank you so much. Our students will be singing a song called Unclouded Day.
like to have him.
So we just wanted to share that our clef singers and our music department in general attended the Music in the Parks competition festival several weeks ago, and we were very proud that clef received an award for best chorus overall for all of the ensembles that performed that day. And so we are a small but mighty group. I'm incredibly proud of the hard work that our students put in, the commitment to our program, and I love my music kids. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, and now we pivot on to sports. We have several exciting recognitions. Mr. Crowley is here to talk about all things sports.
Thank you, Dr. Thornton, Madam Chair, members of the school committee. We have many of our student athletes this winter accomplish great things. We'll start with our indoor track. This young lady has won 5 state titles already as a junior, 4 as a member, 3 as a member of the cross-country team, 1 last year as outdoor track, and this year she won the 3K indoors, and it was a thrilling race where she waited to the last about 300 meters before she decided to flip the switch, and she caught Mackenzie Lickett from St. Ray's, and she just blasted right by her, and she won by 3.31 seconds. She won the 3,000 meter in a time of 10:36.63. She's one of the state's elite distance runners. Congratulations, Anna Bianchi. And now we move to the pool. This young man won 2 gold medals and first team All-State as a junior. Excuse me, the last 2 seasons. And this year, he picked up 4 gold medals at the state meet. We're going to talk about his individual efforts first, that he won the 50 freestyle and went on to win the 100 freestyle. He's a second team All-State pick, as a freshman, and was first team as a sophomore, a junior, and now as a senior. He's going to swim at Bryant University, set school records in both the 50 and the 100. He's been before us again, and one of the greatest swimmers ever to come out of Cumberland, Jarrett Zito. Mr. McGarry also informed me that he's the state record holder in both the 50 and in the 100. So, not to be outdone, we have a quartet of young men who won the 200 freestyle relay and came back and won the 400 freestyle relay. They dominated the 200 in a time of 1:28.37, beating Barrington by 1.35 seconds, and then came back to win the 400 in a time of 3:16.81 to beat North Kingston by nearly 2 seconds. Quinn DeFusco, Ryan Kuntz, Logan Fitzsimmons, and Jarrett Zito. Congratulations, a Herculean accomplishment. We also have 3 coaches this season, this past fall and winter, who have been recognized as Coaches of the Year. And I didn't mention this during the boys, but I'll mention it now as we talk about all 3 of our coaches are educators in the district, and they've been with us a long time. And the value of having a coach who's an educator and understands the expectations of and the demands of education-based athletics is not to be sold short. First, we'll start with our swim coach, Coach McGarry. Coach McGarry has been a long-time swim coach here. both the boys and the girls program, also a social studies teacher here at the high school. And what he did with 6 guys in the states who scored, finished fourth, correct? Finished fourth with 6 guys who scored, 6 men who scored, compared to other schools who were swimming 20, 25, 24 guys. There's nothing short of Herculean. He was recognized as the National Federation of High School, the NFHS Coach of the Year for swim at the Ryan Center earlier this year. We're blessed to have him as one of our coaches, Coach McGarry. The accolades keep piling up for this coach as she has done a phenomenal job with our distance program. She's won 2 state titles as a head coach of the girls cross country program, has had multiple state champions on the boys side, individuals and Sam Henderson a few years ago on the boys side, was also part of the coaching staff that brought home a girls outdoor track title last spring, was also recognized as the NFHS Coach of the Year. Last year, she won an award with the Rhode Scholastic Athletic Administrators Association as a Coach of the Year. And just keep on running, right? Kerry Carpenter, Coach Carpenter. And as we all know that head coaches are great, but you don't get anywhere without a qualified assistant coaches around you. And they are a lot of boots on the ground guys who do the work in the trenches every single day. And Coach Gonzalez has been a longtime member of our phys ed department here at Cumberland High School, longtime member of our coaching staff here at Cumberland High School. And he was recently, runs our defense. If you watch our defense play, if you go down before a football game, Gonzo's into it. You can't, by halfway through the second game of the season, he doesn't have a voice for the next 10 weeks because it gets shot. So a great asset to our football program. Gabe Gonzalez, Assistant Coach of the Year for CHS football. Thank you very much for your time.
And last but not least, Mike, we have a brief school construction update. We are on budget, on time. What you're seeing here is just the last part of the first floor. This is going to be the kitchen. These are grease traps. They're installed. The upper half of the first floor was poured the other day. The cement's in. This will be poured in a couple of weeks. Someone at the firm had some fun and put some googly eyes on the shovel there. Oh, go back, Mike, sorry. Go back. See, little googly eye. So that's kind of fun for the kids. They can see that. That's glued on for a long time now. Next slide, Mike. So this is what it looks like. The first floor got poured, and we were on that site today. So it's really moving along. They're making the building weather tight pretty quickly. They're going from the south to the north, and that's all I think I have for you right now. If you do want to go for a walk, it's a great time to do that. So if you ever want to go for a walk, let us know, and we'll get you around. And you can see an example here of the windows being put in already. They're already doing that. So it's really moving fast. So, Touch a Truck's coming up, Mike. What date is that? I'll have to get that back to you. It's an event called, I think it's next week during Reading Week. May 18th, Touch a Truck, thank you. Where it's a great event if you're reading or you want to come out and see the kids with the trucks. It's all happening next week at BF. So that's all we have.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Dr. Thornton? Excellent, thank you. Reports of standing committees, Fiscal Management Subcommittee update, Ms. Smith?
Fiscal did meet earlier this evening, and we do have payment of the bills and 10 resolutions that were discussed. Also, we are going to discuss a little bit later, I think, in the agenda as well, budget discussions based upon projected numbers coming from the town and what impact that's going to have for the 26-27 school year. So we'll be talking about that a little further.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Policy and Procedure Subcommittee update, Ms. Feather?
Thank you. We did not meet this week. I'm looking to try to see about at least one more meeting before the end of the year, and then, of course, over the summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Feather. Achievement and Communications Subcommittee update. We have no update. I need to make a meeting. District Health and Wellness Subcommittee update, Ms. Shea?
We did not meet, but we're going to be reconvening the beginning of the school year, excuse me.
Old Business CHS update on schedule, build, and progress towards developing internship partnerships. Mr. Costa?
Good evening, folks, and thank you for an opportunity to share again about this exciting shift to our new master schedule going into next year. I do want to report out that the process of building the schedule where we stop putting teachers into their schedules and assign them classes is going very, very well. We have worked very collaboratively with the CTA to iron out the last few wrinkles that we need to talk about, and we are in a position just to steam ahead. We've collected information from students to modify schedules from the 12th grade students, and the school counselors are now working on building them for those students who have requested modified schedules. If you could go to the next slide. So earlier, we had talked about, not only do we want to provide the ability to reduce the student schedule to go out, but we also want to provide an opportunity for students to take an additional class for those students who might want to apply to a competitive college. And I thought maybe 20 to 30 students would take an opportunity to select an additional class instead of a reduction. We actually had 65 students fill out a form who are looking to enhance their college profiles as they apply to some competitive colleges. So way beyond what I thought students would take advantage of that opportunity now with the 8-block schedule. And the other thing this allows them to do is sometimes at the high school, you have to choose between taking that AP class, being in a CTE program, and still wanting to participate in chorus. But with that added block, now maybe a student can do all three of those things. So again, 65, and we anticipated about 30 students shooting in 8th period. Mike, the next one. And then, so we had thought we'd probably have about 100, 120 students want to sign up for a reduced schedule so they can use the opportunity to pursue those internships or possibly part-time employment or, possible college opportunities while maintaining a high school schedule. We've had 180 seniors request a modified schedule. So there's a lot of work to be done for us in terms of satisfying these requests. In the Google form that they filled out for us, we asked them, why are you looking for a reduced schedule? And overwhelmingly, people are looking for either that part-time employment or for us to embed internship opportunities. And we're going to talk more about those internship opportunities in a second. So, Mike, if you could go to the next one. So we are working very diligently to get prepared for all of that. We have been working with Mr. Brian Keller, who's now going to be our internship supervisor, and he's been reaching out to different people to establish these opportunities for our kids. We've also created a WBL website where we will be able to list those work-based learning opportunities for students, and they can access that there. And just to share a quick story, earlier this week I received a text from my son. My son said, Dad, Dr. Chan reached out to you, and he'd like to talk to you about partnering with the high schools so students can maybe work at Cumberland dental offices with the partnership. So I have a phone appointment scheduled with Dr. Chan on Monday night, and he's looking to partner. When he heard about our PLTW pathway and the idea that our schedule will allow students to go out during their day and doing this, he was very excited about it. So we're creating those partnerships like that. I'm actually going to turn it over to Heather for a few minutes so she could talk more about those internship opportunities that we're developing for our students.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Costa. So in addition to the work-based learning website that school counseling is shared with students that shows the opportunities that are available, the application process, criteria, and what the success outcomes are, we also have a form that went out to the local community and a QR code so that we could garner industry support in figuring out what industry partners want to work with us, what can they facilitate, is it just job shadowing, do they want to be a guest speaker, or do they want to house an intern? So we're working on developing structures to build internal internships as well as external internships. With the resources we have available, we were able to create 9 independent internal internships, some through the school store, maintaining the school store outside of its normal hours of operation, some marketing internships. We have a position available to work with the athletic director to create a virtual Hall of Fame website so they can memorialize all the people that have ever been inducted into the Hall of Fame, and in IT as well. So we're trying to be creative with the resources that we have for the internal internships. For the external ones, we're really relying on those industry partnerships that we have created. Mr. Keller's working on creating structures to vet these internships to make sure that they're the quality that we're looking for. The students are working on skill development, both content skills as well as those professional workplace skills that align to our vision of the graduate. And then what that partnership would look like so that we're consistently getting feedback on how the students are doing. We can provide that feedback to the student, and we can foster that growth that will go with them beyond these walls. We're also looking at how we can vet those internships for credits, because the state has said we can provide up to 2 credits for work-based learning opportunities that are outside of the structures of a typical classroom setting. So Mr. Keller's working, he's looking at some other models around the state and coming up with some language and a handbook so that we can clearly articulate to students, families, and the broader community, what does it mean to be in an internship position as a Cumberland High School student, what's expected from the student, from the employer, and from the school to make that partnership work. Thank you.
So Mike, if you could just go to that last slide. Heather would talk through this. We could go to the next one. So I think when we started this journey last year, I think what we did is we had a school that was very good at getting students to go that college route, but I think we're in a really good position moving forward to really support every single student in terms of what their goals are for their own lives. So I think the partnership with the CTA has been tremendous. I think it's made it, easy is the wrong word, but it's sure supported us to get to this position. So I've appreciated all the conversations I've had with Ms. Enright and Mr. McGarry in terms of getting us to the point that we are today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Costa? Yes, Mr. Bacon.
I don't know if this is a question for you or for Ms. Delfino, but
Sure, she'll step up.
both could probably answer it. Unfortunately, I couldn't be at the last Achievement Subcommittee meeting, which was extremely painful, but how can I get this, like businesses to apply for this? Is it like a QR code or something, or a website that they can?
Yes, so we created the flyer that went out at the career fair. It's gone out through Mr. Costa's school messenger to the family communities, and we can share it with the school committee too. It has the QR code, but also with a live link. So if you're opening the QR code on your phone, you can still click on it.
I think you may have sent it to me, but could you re-forward it to me? Because I want to blast it out to, I know there was about 12 businesses or so that I got verbals on, but I want to get it out to them.
Absolutely.
as well.
I'll reshare it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much for the presentation. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Discussion and or vote regarding funding of CHS Skills USA overnight trip.
Chair,
Hi, good evening.
As you recall, last time, we talked about the trip. The trip was approved contingent upon the funding. The outstanding dollar amount was $28.52, and Mr. McGrath has located the funding source for the trip. So I think we are all set. Ms. Perrin, if you have anything else to add, but I think.
No, I just want to thank everybody for, taking the time to, consider this opportunity for the kids, and I can't wait to get home and email the parents tonight. They're going to be really excited.
Excellent.
So make you proud.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you very much.
Pleasure of the committee? It's been approved, so we don't have to vote on it, right? Well, so, sorry, I'm so sorry. Of course, Mr. Bacon.
So, Mr. Adams, I just have a quick question. If it is a school-sponsored field trip, are we responsible to fund it?
So since we approved this last meeting, we don't have to reapprove it?
All set.
Okay, perfect. Good. Excellent, thank you. Discussion of 2026, 2027 budget. Dr. Thornton?
Sure. Mike, put that one slide up if you could. So we do have some information from the mayor's proposed budget to the town council. As you know, I believe the first meeting's on May 27, second vote June 8. So essentially, as you think back, we had asked for a 4% increase from the town, and that would have been a little over $2 million you see there in that first line. The mayor's proposed number is $243,123, but that's in combination with what's called a master lease. A master lease is kind of like a 5-year loan. The town has a lease going offline right now for $178,000. It's being retired. So if we pick that up, we can leverage $890,000 of the technology we have and use that master lease. The town pays for the loan, if you will. So combining the $890 and the $243, we're still short $903,868. That's what we have to cut between now and after June 8th if the council were to approve this budget. So my job is always to give you recommendations on how you would balance. I haven't finalized them, but I'll give you what I have as of this hour. As of this hour, I would recommend you look at nine positions to make the reduction. The first one would be administrative. As you heard tonight, Ms. Norman's now the middle school vice principal. I'd recommend you could not fill the elementary shared vice principal. That's both at Garvin and BF. Not something we want to do, but that's something to consider. Then I would look at the Essentials program. As you remember, a lot of those came on in 2021. We had reduced 4 previously. One idea would be to reduce by 6 more Essentials, and that would leave just a couple Essentials for the middle schools, but that's something to look at. I know it's, once again, not desirable, but it's a question of, where are we going to go to find the 903? Also, just going back, complicating a lot of this, not only was the $1.9 million fund balance we had to overcome and the 4% raise, but the third killer was the medical going up by $800,000 because we had a big spike in claims. So all those things together really hurt. So in this current thought process, we have the 6 essentials, we have the 1 admin. We do have, we think, 1 efficiency in elementary. In a grade 2, we could close 1 grade 2 and just be tighter in our numbers. It's tighter than I'd want to be in the month of May, but something we could do. As you know, sometimes we'll close a grade level, then in July we're getting a lot of kids in and we're opening it up unbudgeted. But for right now, mathematically speaking, contractually speaking, you could close 1 and get efficiency out of that. And the last one, we look to possibly have a high school reduction. I'll know more about that on May 18th. So all that together, that would be $944, $935. So that's $40,000 more than we need. Why do we propose that to you? Because right now, state aid's down $65,000. But that's like a moving target. In today's paper, or yesterday's paper, the governor was quoted as wanting to tweak the funding formula. It's something called the student success factor. He wants to bump it up a little bit, so we may get that back. The problem is the state aid comes out in the middle of June, after we're done. Not very helpful. But for a hedge, if you did those 9 positions, you're 40 above, and you cover a lot of that $65,000 that you're to the bat on. So that's the news as of right now. And like I said, May 27 is the first, the big meeting, if you will, usually at McCourt, the town council. And then second vote a little later this year, June 8. So we'll certainly have more information for you going forward. Even before the next meeting, I'll give you more information prior to the town council meeting on the 27th. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Ms. Feather and then Ms. Shea?
So the next, you just mentioned it, but I just wanted to make sure that it's heard as well. The next town council meeting is the 27th. That will be, so if
May
folks wanted
27 at McCourt.
Oh, thank you.
Back to the whole essentials and those 6 positions, I think that you had just referenced, Dr. Thornton. Is there a plan in place when it comes to like the overages in the classrooms? Because that's going to be very significant for us.
Right now, looking at the schedule, and certainly Pam's here tonight and Christine, we have to redo the schedule. If this does go through, we have to redo the schedule, because they already probably have a schedule for this year with essentials in the schedule. But I'd have to really talk to them about overages. I don't foresee sitting here any large overages. It's just changing the schedule around. It could be I need another staff member to offset something, because really, they schedule essentials on one side, then class on the other side of the equation. Until they run it, we really don't know. So I'd have to talk to both middles about that. It's just a question of, this is, we added a lot of these in 2021, and it's something that is unique. It's great, but we have to go somewhere. If you don't go this, where are we going? Are we going to sports? Are we going middle school teaming? What are we going to do to cover $900,000? So as you know, it's like a broken record. We're the lowest PPE in Rhode Island by quite a bit. As Tim always tells you, we need $35 million to be average in Rhode Island. But our reality is we have to balance by June 30.
I'm just extremely cautious about the essentials program in general. It's just, I feel like it's just going to take a very significant blow to both middle schools. So if us as a committee can kind of just comb through again and hopefully come up with another solution to kind of float around, I think that would probably be like in our best interest.
Mr. Dean, then Ms. Smith?
Yes, so we, as I mentioned in several meetings, we don't have control of the money that we get. We're kind of left holding the bag at the end, where we have to figure out, well, we don't figure it out, we have to vote on it, but eventually the cuts come based on the money we get. Every town council meeting, there are public comments, whether or not the budget is on the agenda. There are, I think, 2 separate public comments. So, rally your coworkers, rally your friends, rally your parents, and get them to the town council meeting and tell them, that you prioritize the schools over various other things that are happening in town. Every dollar that the town council can save somewhere else, maybe they can shift it over to the Cumberland schools. My other comment is in line with Ms. Che, where I think the cuts, I know it's a hard job to make the cuts. I'd like to see a little bit different ratio between the teachers getting cut and admin cuts. Obviously not talking about principals or any of those essential positions, but a few, I think it was March, we got the bullseye graph that you sent us that had all of the teachers and all of the administrative positions. And there are quite a few of them on there that look a little bit redundant. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of everybody's daily activity, but if we're going to have to shift more students and have a teacher, teach a bigger classroom than they're used to save budgetary, for the budgetary constraints, then maybe we can do that with confidential, assistants or assistants. I'm just saying, it's a teaching profession, and, to have a teaching profession, you need to have teachers. So I'd like to see that ratio get a little bit more, a little less teacher centric. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the past 5 or so years, I've been sitting here, I've been sitting on the fiscal subcommittee, I'm the chair of that now, and every year I've looked at the budget and what's been presented to us and what the superintendent and the director of finance have put together. And each year I feel that they've done a very good job at trying to keep us as lean as they possibly can in our requests to the town without impacting the students. That changes this year. This essentials, I voted against the budget, not for the 4% submission, but for the outline of taking those essential positions away. We heard from one of those essential teachers in our last meeting, and those numbers were staggering. That needs to go in front of our town council. When you look at this budget right now, the town aid proposed by the mayor of $243,000, that's what we call MOE. All right, that carries forward. So next year, that is part of the collective number. The town, the technology master lease is not part of that. So what that means is that could go away next year, and we still have $890,000 that we have to make up. Right? So it's not part of what goes forward. I understand, you look around the state, you're hearing it on the news every day, there's cuts happening with the teachers everywhere. They're happening in school systems that are losing students. That's not Cumberland's problem. If you take the 56 new students that we've added so far this year, at $17,000 a student to educate them, that's $952,000 that we need in our budget, not $243,000. I'm really upset. I hope all of you in the audience are upset. I hope that people start showing up at the town council meeting, because something has to be done to take a number as low as $243,000 and think that we're going to be able to educate our students when we're the lowest per pupil spending already. We've shown that we know how to be lean. We show that we know how to stay up in the top school district. We're showing all of those things. Teachers getting taken away from positions in front of these students when we're adding students is not the answer for this town. This is going to impact the entire town. It's going to impact your property values. It's going to stop students from leaving BVP or other private schools and coming back to Cumberland. It's going to take them going to register somewhere else. We had a good formula going. We've been working with it. This sidelines us, and I really hope that people take it serious, and thank you for allowing me to voice my aggravation.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Thank you, Ms. Smith. Anyone else? Next is comments from the public. Do we have any comments? Oh, did you have?
I do have a comment from
I'm
the
so-
public.
Oh, I'm sorry, were you under,
No,
did you have
comment
something under budget?
No.
Okay. Comments from the public. Any comments from the public?
Yes.
Ms. Shea?
Yes.
And then anyone else that has a comment from the public, please come to the podium. Thank you.
I'm not going to go down to the podium, but I just wanted to say a big congratulations to McCourt Middle School on their incredible playoff run this week. They played on Wednesday and also on Monday, and we are now headed to the championship game at J. Wu on this Saturday, so that's a huge, huge win for us, especially for the unified team. They're going to be taking on Lincoln Middle School. I just really want to say to Coach Macedo and the rest of the coaches, and of course, our McCourt family, you know, this team, they've showed a lot of work and determination, and they've given so much teamwork to each other, and they've just made this school community so proud. Just best of luck to them on Saturday, and go Makos.
Good luck, that's great. Any other comments from the public? Next, new business, presentation, Cumberland High School, NEASC, Decennial Accreditation Report. Mr. Costa.
Thank you again. So this year, tonight I get to speak probably about the two biggest initiatives that went on at Cumberland High School this year. We had both the shift in our master schedule, and we had our decennial visit by NEASC, which is a 10-year visit that happens. It's quite rigorous. It's 3 days. This year we had a 7-member team visit. 42 students participated in the NEASC visit. They participated by answering questions about student work, general questions from the visiting team. There were 30 staff members. Administration was interviewed. District leaders were interviewed, and they gather all this evidence, and then they begin rating us against the standards for accreditation. 2 years ago, when we had our collaboration visit, it's a new part of the process now. They came in, they looked at our programs. They said if they were to do the visit at that time, we would have met 5 of the 8 foundational elements that we have to meet. After the decennial visit, we have met 7 of the 8. That is a good number. Most school districts are struggling with the same one that we are, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. Mike, if you could go on to the next slide. So some of the commendations that they made about our school is, earlier you heard Ms. Delfino talk about the vision of the graduate, which is our new vision for what students should look like upon graduation from Cumberland High School. We've embedded it in our school culture. We're now doing our Student of the Month is based on that vision. The senior presentation that students do at the end of their senior year, now they're talking about the elements within the vision of the graduate. They were also quite impressed with our school culture. They've often said throughout those 3 days they couldn't believe how quiet our hallways were. It's like there were no students in the building. And I said, they're here, they're just in the classroom. And along with that school culture is definitely, we heard lots of comments about the staff at Cumberland High School and how committed they are to our students learning what they need to learn to be successful in life. They were also quite impressive about the expansion of our CTE programs in the 2 years from the collaborative visit to the decennial visit, and all the electives that Cumberland High School has to offer, and that wide range of things that students can explore there. And lastly, one of the major commendations that they talked about were improvement of facilities, including giving back some classroom spaces in the transitional building, the engineering wing that we now have at the high school, and the new kitchen for the special ed program, for the trade program that students use. Mike, next slide. But along with those commendations are some recommendations. And so, again, one of the things that they are encouraging us to really focus on is the use of a common curriculum template for all courses. Right now, we are using a common template for all core courses. We're working towards those elective courses. That's the 8th foundational element that we weren't able to hit. So I would say that curriculum is something that you're constantly working on. So if that's the one that we're not hitting on, that's okay. But they want to just see some progress towards doing that. I think one of the bigger things that was emphasized in kind of the end of the decennial visit was there was lots of concern about grading practices at the high school, specifically tied to the 12-point rubric. And the two things that they wanted to highlight about the 12-point rubric, when I had an opportunity to explain how it worked, is they were concerned both about, is that really measuring students' ability in those classes? So is it really preparing, like, are we really measuring career and college readiness by using that 12-point rubric the way we do? And does it really motivate students throughout the year? Because, to be honest, the 12-point rubric does allow for students to kind of meet that success criteria for the year quite early in the year. So we definitely want to look at that, and that would take some policy work when we begin to pursue that. And then the other recommendation is is that currently through the IT department here at in the Cumberland School Department, we put an IT request form, and then we will, when we put in an IT request, and once the IT team has finished completing whatever the request is, they close that out, and we get notification of that being closed out. I think what teachers are asking for is the same type of system when it comes to facilities. So if there's things that are going on facility-wise, and they've requested, what they do is they'll contact Laurie in my office. Laurie will send a request to maintenance, to Will, and then kind of we never hear again whether or not that's been completed. And so teachers later on will come to us and say, hey, I asked for this to be done, and we're not aware. So something similar like Mike's office does, so we know things are being closed out. Those were the biggest, those are some of the bigger recommendations. There are other recommendations, just to talk quickly about the process moving forward, Mike. So if you look at the orange, the decennial is done. And then what will happen is we will, one of the requirements of NEASC is that our school improvement plan reflects what they want in terms of priorities. So I'll have to make some changes to the school improvement plan. And then this now goes to the NEASC commission. That's just a group of people that kind of read through these reports. They are going to give us some specific things that they want us to work on that we will need to report out in 2 years with the 2-year progress report. After the 2-year progress report, if they're satisfied with the response from the school, we move forward. They might request, and this is very common, I have worked on the NEASC commission before, they might request a special progress report. So let's say, for example, that we take no action in terms of the facilities ticket system. They might ask for a special report, and they want to know why we haven't taken, and then we would just respond to their request. And then after that, we're right back into the swing of a self-study, a collaborative visit, and 10 years later, we're back to a decennial. So that's kind of the process NEASC used. I can say that overwhelmingly, we received a glowing report. They did sit with the whole staff at the high school on their last day, Wednesday of the, and they were very satisfied with what they saw at the high school. I would say more than satisfied, they were impressed. People have actually already reached out to me. They want to know more about our thinking around the master schedule, and they want to know more about our flex program, so some of the unique things that we have in our high school that are built to support our students. And I know that Dr. Thornton has gotten questions about our master schedule too, so we're doing some really good things at the high school, and that was reflected in the NEASC report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
Next is presentation of classroom behavior supports and data tracking with Alicia DeStefani and Jim Field. Yes, Mr. Costa.
Sorry.
That's
I
okay.
am so sorry. And it was the first thing in my notes, and I forgot to say it. I just want to publicly thank Christina Gugliardo, who's a social studies teacher in our school, and Audrey Berthium, who's an English teacher in our school. They were our NEASC chairs for this NEASC visit. They've been supporting, really leading this work for the past 3 years. And I told you it's a cycle, but I feel as if we're at a point where we can take a breath now. We don't get here without all the work that they put in. So I just want to publicly thank them. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Mr. Fields? Mr. Fields, sorry.
Hi, everyone. How are you today? First of all, congratulations to all of our administrators being promoted tonight. Well deserved for all of them. Really appreciate. Excited for all of you. All right. I am, Mr. Stephanie is unavailable to be here tonight, so I'm solo. I've been challenged to keep this to about 10 minutes. Anyone that knows me, I'm long-winded, so I'll do the best I can. But this first part comes from Mr. Stephanie, so my time doesn't start yet. Tonight's presentation provides a brief overview of our positive behavioral interventions and support framework for supporting expected behavior and responding to unexpected behavior as a district. We've been implementing PBIS for 18 years. It aligns with our MTSS, Multi-Tiered Systems of Support framework. And as part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen consistency across settings, staff recently received clarification to reinforce consistent practices for documenting major and minor behaviors, for supporting a unified district-wide tracking system to ensure accurate data, identify behavior patterns, and inform appropriate interventions, particularly within our specialized classrooms. Sometimes when we try to clarify things, we actually confuse it. So part of my job tonight is to provide a quick overview of what we have in place, open up the lines of communication for continued support for our students and staff. All right, you can start the clock on me now if you'd like. All right, here we go. First, let me acknowledge that teaching and supporting social emotional learning is harder than ever. Wasn't exciting to hear the budget update. I have lots of recommendations that I keep on saying I hope will happen before I retire. I don't know if they ever will, but we definitely always need more support, and the job is really hard for teachers. Our academic standards are high, our social emotional learning needs are growing, and unfortunately, academic supports and SEL are competing initiatives. They both require resources, which we know is difficult, and we're looking at cutting. They both require time built in the day to support those initiatives, and they require training time for adults. When we decided 18 years ago to become a PBIS district, part of that was to align things so that we could have consistency, to get everybody on the same page, so that we could have consistent practices within a building and then across the district. All right, so our basic, what we hand out at new teacher orientation and then yearly reviews with staff is an overview of PBIS, and we know we want to start with a positive first, so just some things that we hope and we encourage everybody to do to build connections and create a supportive environment. So there's bullet points here. I won't read through them all, but obviously the importance of building relationships, greeting students, acknowledging more positives than correctives, making sure that we provide structure and predictability within classes, and some other things there as well. So that's something we encourage in all of our schools for consistency. Mike? We define a minor behavior as behaviors at a low level managed completely by the adult who observes the behavior and does not require the student to leave the classroom or the area where the behavior is observed. Minor behaviors, we track them mostly in the elementary school. We also track some of them in the middle school. We do not track minor behaviors at the high school level, but we define it for people so that they understand. And the biggest difference is, do you handle it by yourself or do you require additional support. Next slide, Mike. We talk about some examples of what minor behaviors are. And again, this is where we'll try to work for some clarification at the start of next year when I'm doing presentations at each school. You know, what a minor behavior looks like in preschool is different than it looks like in elementary school is different than what it looks like in the high school. So we'll work with teams to kind of make clarifications on what is a minor and a major behavior look like at the different levels. And some basic supports there. So obviously low-level disruptions or non-compliance that we see throughout different things. Mike? And we also talk about major behaviors. This, to me, is the big one, and we're comparing our behaviors to national norms. This is really what we look at. We look at major behaviors. Not all school districts track minor behaviors. We do it because we have an MTSS system that allows us to really analyze behavior and kind of shape how we support students. But nationally, majors is what they really look at. And major behaviors are defined as behaviors that are unsafe or a major disruption to learning and require additional adult support and the student to leave the classroom. Important to note, and I think I have it on another slide coming up, but it's important to note, at any point, a teacher of a classroom can make the determination that this is a major disruption to my learning, right? So we want teachers to know, and I'm still part of the union, that like when we create this and we review this every year, it's to support them and let you know, like, you've got a classroom to run, you've got to balance learning and behavior management, and if at any point you determine that it's a continuous or one big disruption, you can call for support, and then we have a system in place to make sure that we have someone come and support and take that child out of the class, work with them, build skills, and then get them back in when they're ready. Next slide, Mike. Thank you. Just some definitions again. We'll look for clarification at different levels for this. Unsafe behaviors, obviously fighting and physical aggression, elopement, leaving a designated area, harassment and bullying. Major disruption is continuous noncompliance, which is disruptive to the learning of others. Again, that's determined by the individual classroom teacher. There's also an example of abusive language in a directed way. So again, we say continuous major disruption, but sometimes it's not continuous. If someone was to, directly tell a teacher to go bleep themselves, then you're not getting a warning. We're not considering that you're staying in the class. You're leaving, right? And you're processing with someone. There will be a consequence, and we'll do some restitution on trying to repair that. Mike? So then we sent, part of our clarification that we sent out was to tease apart, really there's 3 levels. There's things that are teachable moments, then there's minor behaviors that we want to record, and then there's major behaviors that we definitely want to record. And so we gave some examples of teachable moments, some examples of minor behaviors, and some examples of major behaviors, hoping to get clarification, and then really clarifying what are we documenting for procedures. Good? All right, points of emphasis. Obviously, safety is our #1 priority. The classroom is a learning environment, so that is important, and part of the procedures that we have set in place where a teacher can identify that this is a disruption in my class and ask a student to leave is that we want it to be a learning environment. There's only so much that should be tolerated within a classroom. It's at the teacher's discretion to determine what is the major disruption to the learning environment. If a teacher calls for support, that student will leave the classroom and will process with an adult. Each school has an MTSS, or what we used to call a target team, established, and they meet weekly. The district has over 100 staff members trained in safety care with the focus on de-escalation. And teachers or a parent can request an MTSS meeting at any time to bring relevant stakeholders together to discuss how to support an individual student. So if we're writing up lots of minor behaviors on an individual student or major behaviors on a student, that we have a team that meets weekly that either the data can drive, that meeting's going to happen, a teacher or a parent can request that, and then we come together. And then we put a specific plan in place that, again, going back to the full process, involves what are we going to do preventatively, what type of positive things are we going to put in place, how are we going to respond to the unexpected behavior, are there any new skills that we need to teach or new interventions that we can put in place for that child. And at any time for a safety level issues, we can request a safety care meeting. And we've done refreshers in individual buildings multiple times this year. So we can call that if anyone has concerns about safety. We want you to know that you can go to your administrator, you can email or text me directly and say, hey, can we get a meeting with our team together to kind of talk about, this situation that came up and how we should respond next time. All right? Next steps, we want to continue to train and give PBIS overviews to all of our new hires, and we want to meet individually with schools and teams to review and clarify specific examples of teachable moments, minor behaviors, and major behaviors within a specific school setting. I think that's all I have. Is that all of it? All right. Questions? That was my fast talk. 8 minutes? All right.
Look at you go. Any questions?
I'll celebrate
from-
when I get home. Any questions?
Any questions from the committee? All right, thank you very much for coming and presenting. We appreciate it.
Very welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is discussion and a vote to approve school instruction requests for 2025-20. There are none. Thank you. Discussion and a vote to approve ride 5-day weather waiver submission for 2026-2027 school year.
Each year, we have the document good to go to submit to RIDE for the waiver for the 5 days.
Thank you. Pleasure of the committee.
Motion approved.
Motion by Ms. Feather. Second by Ms. Goldstein. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 7-0. Discussion and a vote to approve resolutions. Ms. Smith?
Yes, first, just for clarification, if you look at the resolution numbers, number 3 is actually not a resolution. That was the second part of the line above it. So you're off by 1 number. So we do have 10 resolutions tonight. SCPR 05-2026-027 through 036. All of these were discussed in fiscal subcommittee early this evening. There were multiple questions, with the questions being answered, and they were approved 3-0. So I would make a motion to approve all.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith makes a motion to approve resolutions SC-PR-05-2026-027 through 036, noting that there are 10 resolutions, not 11. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Dean. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 7-0. Discussion and a vote to approve payment of bills. Ms. Smith?
Yes, we did payment of the bills early this evening as well, and there were questions asked in fiscal for those, and they were answered sufficiently. And we did pass the payment of the bills in the amount of $1,835,364.10. I can't believe I couldn't read my writing early this evening, and that did pass 3-0. So I would make a motion to approve.
Ms. Smith makes a motion to approve the payment of bills in the amount of $1,835,364.10. Do I have a second? Mr. Dean seconds. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 7-0. Dr. Thornton, do we need to go in executive session?
We do not.
Can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mr. Bacon, second by Ms. Shea. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 7-0. And we adjourn at 8:25 PM.